Now, personally, I'm such a big, strong man. None of this stuff is gonna scare me.
A few moments later.
Whoa!
Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. So today we are checking out the Nope Challenge. This is a face your phobia type of game, and the developers did actually reach out to me and asked me to cover this. So this won't be a full review. I'm just going to be showing off some gameplay and talking about what I liked about this game and what I think fell a little short. Now, there are, of course, links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, let's start things off with the basic information. Releasing on the MetaQuest April 25th for $19.99, the Nope Challenge will have you facing off some of the most common phobias, including clowns, spiders, and heights. The 9 distinct challenges come in 3 different intensity levels, including light, moderate, and extreme. Now, if anytime things get a little bit too intense, you can nope out and escape your way to the breather room. This is a nice little retreat for you to relax and reset before you jump back in. Now, I usually like to mention my expectations going into a title because I've found they have a massive impact on how much I like or dislike the game overall. Sometimes when they don't match up, it could be for better or worse. Now, this one was right on the money. I was expecting to go into a quirky, lighthearted version of something like Face Your Fears, and that's what it is. What I didn't expect though was just how well it delivers the overall experience. It could have given you a lengthy, boring introduction, or just immediately dropped you into an experience and started nailing you with jump scares. Instead, it is a quirky, fun little storyline that naturally introduces you to all of the gameplay mechanics and just gives you a few little hints along the way. It reminded me a bit of the flat screen title, The Stanley Parable. Now, in practice, getting into the game, I didn't expect to be scared at all. Between the graphics being cartoony and just being, well adjusted to VR over all the years, heights are not going to do anything to me. Spiders don't scare me. But then there's clowns, which reminded me of Five Nights at Freddy's. So that wasn't fantastic. And the game starts off by asking you, what's your fear level when it comes to heights and spiders and clowns? And I was kind of like, no, clowns, moderate. And yeah, I think I'm right, because that was the only scenario that got me to nope out. And that was actually in the moderate level. On the low level, when I'm playing the clown mission, I'm like, okay, this is creepy, but I'm not ready to nope out. It did make me kind of wince a little bit here and there, but I did actually nope out on moderate because they got me pretty good. And supposedly the game has, the reactive AI to kind of, what level to push you at. I don't know how that works in practice, but it did get me. And yeah. Now, when it comes to extreme on spiders, there's really no impact. The spiders do nothing for me. However, if you do have a fear of spiders, this game I think will get you. And also heights, come on, it's fake. I know, my brain knows it's fake. It doesn't induce the same phobia that it used to when I first started VR, like the first time you walk on Richie's Plank experience. However, if you're not desensitized to VR, you're in for some fun. Now, before we get to my verdict and recommendation, I just want to talk about the overall fear factor and some minor issues I had with the game. Rather than a horror title, this is much more of a mainstream game. Jump scares don't happen that often, and if you're well adjusted to VR, you shouldn't have much trouble handling this at all. I would go as far as saying you can throw VR noobs into this, but that would be slightly malicious. It's a little bit worse than putting VR noobs on Richie's Plank experience, especially if they're afraid of things like spiders, heights, and clowns. Now, at the same time, though, this does make it an excellent party game option. Invite some friends over, maybe have a few drinks, throw them in VR, and laugh a bit as you watch them squirm. I know it's a little sadistic, but we all did it with Richie's Plank experience. Just don't push them or mess with them too much, especially if people are new to VR. But overall, it would be fun to put your friends and family through this. And like I said, it's not too extreme. Maybe little kids, yeah, they won't handle it, or people with those specific phobias. But overall, just, come on, you can do it. And it's pretty fun there. Now, my minor complaints start with the game's UI, which at the moment looks like a placeholder for the finished product. This isn't a big deal. Who really cares about the menus? But it did stand out to me. I also had some issues with snap turning, which just never felt right for some reason, even after I adjusted it. Gripping wasn't perfect, especially in areas when I was climbing ladders, but it definitely wasn't enough to ruin the experience. Now, I would have loved to see more than 9 levels, because you could blast through this pretty quickly, but I would say there's definitely $20 worth of content here. I just hope they add a little bit more over time. Now, when it comes to my overall recommendation and verdict, if you're the type of person looking for something serious for a truly terrifying game, this is not it. I'm sorry, it's definitely not it. This is much more like Face Your Fears meets Stanley Parable. It's fun, it's whimsical, kind of tells a little story along the way, gradually introduces you. You know, in the beginning, you might randomly come across a spider on one of the spider phobia levels. And then, you know, towards the extreme, you're being chased by a giant spider. So obviously you see a nice little progression there. It doesn't overwhelm. It'll be fun to throw your friends into. And that's about it. There's definitely $20 worth of content, but I hope they add more over time. There's some little issues in there, very minor, that I hope they tweak, like grabbing. It's okay. It could just be a little bit more accurate side in the future. Overall, I enjoyed it. I do plan to throw my wife into it, which is going to be a lot of fun. Maybe I'll record that for you guys. Now, if you have any other questions about this game, please drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you. Usually, I think I cover everything you guys want to know about the game, but I might forget a major component along the way. Now, if you enjoyed this, thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.